Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to everybody. We're really grateful as a family business. You don't often get a chance to just get up and tell everybody where you've come from and how you got there. We don't have any secrets. Nobody's going to learn anything about business success here because we've purely got there with one ingredient, and that was hard work, really. And we're nowhere near there yet. We're still just developing ourselves as we go. So it's our little journey as a family business, and I thought I'd just share it with you. The elephant there is a bit of a hint. Why did we call it Zimprint? Simply, the continent of Africa and the little tiny red circle there is where I was born and raised. My parents left the UK, both British, straight after the Second World War. They went to settle in Africa and have a look at the amazing future that you could have there. It was northern and southern Rhodesia in those days. I was fortunate enough to be born over there, and I was raised there for 42 years. Well, I was raised, but I lived there for 42 years. And obviously when we came back here, we started with one very old little printer. And the fact that we came from Zimbabwe, somebody suggested to me, why don't you just call it Zimprint, when we were talking about forming a business. So that's how Zimprint came about. I just wanted to show you a very brief timeline of our history as a family. So bear with me with this. We arrived in the UK, my wife and I, and 3 young adult children, Matt of whom is 1. And we needed to provide a future and build for our family because it was no longer tenable to remain in Zimbabwe. So we arrived in 2000, so that's 23 odd years ago. And for about 12 years, I was doing all sorts of things, just working where I could. I worked for Carphone Warehouse. I worked selling photocopiers because I've been in print for about 30 years. And we were trying all sorts of different things. But then eventually, and you may remember this, in 2016, I joined, I beg your pardon, in 2016 I joined a franchise called Cartridge World. I worked for somebody called Richard Jones. I don't know if people know him, but he was the mayor of Evesham for a while, and he became a business partner and gave me a break by giving me some shares in his little retail business. So we started as a Cartridge World franchise, selling cartridges, ink and laser, consumables, paper and that kind of thing from a little shop into business and for the public. 2016, we started to meet some competition from online, and the whole environment changed with the arrival of China on the scene, providing ready-made compatibles, and the refill market, where we were filling what you were already using, kind of went through the floor. So that altered things a bit. And then in 2017, I had a friend of mine who is he sells photocopiers. He'll be well known to Dolphin Tech and to Steve. And he came to me and he said, I've got an old machine, would you like it to try and offer photocopying in your shop? So that was the unintended or unplanned birth of Zimprint, because he gave us this rickety old machine and we started to offer photocopying in our little ink shop. In 2018, we closed our Tewkesbury branch. We had 2 branches of Cartridge World, and we all had to consolidate into Evesham because it wasn't going very well and we couldn't afford 2 branches. We consolidated, and as God would have it, OHL closed in the town centre. I don't know if anybody remembers them, but they were a great stationer, fantastic, been here for years and years, and they wanted to take their business online, so they closed their shop and they sold me their book of clients and an old digital press. And that kind of really kicked Zimprint on. So now we had a larger but still old and cronky digital press. And then as we got all ready for that, in came COVID. COVID, we locked everything down like everybody did, but I still traded from the shop on my own, and everybody else was on furlough, and I just took mail order. I think the biggest impact for us as a retail shop in COVID was the massive drive that it pushed everybody online, and it absolutely flattened us from that perspective. So all my regulars could now just literally click on a phone and Amazon would deliver it the next day. So it scuppered retail, not only for us as cartridges and ink, but in general, retail took a massive hit. We managed to survive thanks to help from the government and the rest of the bits and pieces. And we took a government bounce back loan and took some funding, which we were going to plow back in. And then we made a decision at that point, no, this is not the way to go. So it was there that was our trigger when we got the bounce back funding. The other thing I wanted to add was I also went on an Elevate course. Sean, wherever Sean is.
Yeah.
I went on an Elevate course sponsored by whichever district council. And if you complete that course, which is unbelievable, I have to put a plug in for it. It's brilliant for a business eye-opener, incredible. And if you pass that course, you qualify for some funding, 40% of up to £25,000. So I was able to take bounce back money and Elevate funding once I finished the course and plow it into some equipment and moving the business in a different direction. So we then kind of decided to change how the business looked and started to drop the print shop side of things. We were known as a print shop, and everybody came in for photocopying, and grannies would come and say, can you make me 6 Christmas cards? And can you? So we did all of that, and we still keep that as a community service. We still keep our inks to this day, because we've got people who've been dealing with us for 18 years, and we still provide their inks, we still repair their inkjet printers for them. But we've separated that now, and we decided, right, from now on we're going to specialize in B2B and trying to give B2B solutions. We then in 2023, oh no, sorry, I hasten to add that just after, between government bounce back in 2023, my son Matt came on board to help me sort. He's a co-owner in the business, and he's now running all our operations. So our business packages that we offer are literally from something like a postage stamp size sticker, right up to vehicle graphics. We're doing scaffolding banner at the moment. We're doing big stuff for you. So, and everything in between. So Matt really coordinates the production of all of that for us. We then in 2023, my eldest son Jason, he came on board as well. He's out of corporate in London, had 20 odd years there and was made redundant. So he came and had a look at Zimprint and decided it was worthy to inject a bit more funding. So we then opened a wide format division, which allowed us to do things like banners, vehicle graphics, and the bigger signage. So that happened in 2023. And then we really launched the B2B brand. We changed the look of the shop. And the one thing I did want to say here is, we're the only printer really who has a retail presence. It's weird, 90% of people all operate, printers, I beg your pardon, no matter what they offer, generally have to operate out of a unit. We were fortunate enough to have a retail frontage that's got about 3,500 square feet behind it. So although we have a little funny shop that you can walk into and talk to us, behind the scenes is where we keep all our equipment. And we've got 3 subdivided sections at the back. We've got, you'll see the pictures, we've got several presses, digital presses, and a lot of wide format equipment. So we decided to really launch the B2B brand right at the beginning of this year. We changed our graphics on the windows, and really 2024 now, going forward, this is probably the most important graphic. Nowadays, things are moving again, and even more so in the print game, especially if you're doing what we do, you need to hook up to what's happening currently. And we've found that the arrival of Canva is huge. I don't know if anybody knows Canva? Yeah. The arrival of Canva has so influenced the print game, and they're very clever because what they've done is they've offered you free design, and then they tag on the back of that. If you want it printed, just click here, it's just one click. So we're fighting back a little bit by saying no problem, because Canva's got an amazing ability to share a graphic with anybody. So you can create your graphic and then just choose your print of choice, click send this, and it sends a link directly to their graphic. You can then set it up with bleeds, margins, sizes, if they've not got it quite right, and they don't lose any of their own content. So that's really changed. We have a design service. We're no longer really needing to offer that too much, because most people can come up with a design from Canva. AI is another thing. The little hand underneath, holding the world, that's created by AI and Canva. You just say, Canva, give me a hand holding a world, and there's your image. No more photoshopping, no more paying a graphic designer for 2 hours creating it. So we're moving a lot with the technology side of things. We're going to be promoting it a lot as well going forward in 2024. Just to end, a little bit of info. That's the back of our print shop. It is a working print shop. I apologize that it looks a little untidy. These images were taken this morning. The black marks here in the corner, that's a legacy of the old refilling days of Cartridge World, where you're covered in ink and you have to lean on the wall to fill the equipment on the floor. But we've just left it there as a reminder of what it used to be. So that's the inside of our current print shop at the moment. In the one division, that's Matt's section that he runs. We've got 2 presses, 3 wide format machines, guillotines. And then that's the wide format division at the back, where we have 2 Roland printers, a 3.6 applicator. Tom will know what these are. That's just a big backlit table that we use to apply graphics and vinyls to substrates, for vehicle panels, etc. A couple of signs that we've done for Chips Away, a local person, and a banner, just some local work. We're very grateful for that. And the one big thing that we are pushing at the moment is our wall art. This is just work again that we've done. We do window graphics, we do signs above your building, whatever the case may be. The Valkyrie gave us a very unusual job. They wanted vinyl covers for kitchen tables. So they gave us the job of lining all their kitchen cupboard doors. So that was Matt and Jason off doing that. And then probably that is our probably most famous piece of work. Penny will recognize it. Yeah. The one on the top left. That's a 5-meter long mural or wall art done in panels and mounted to a wall inside Johnson's property estate agents.
There's very good air conditioning.
Yeah, yeah, there is. We had to go around the air conditioning unit. We should have called you to take it off. It would have been a lot easier. But we had to work out how to get around it. And yeah, so that's a 5-meter wall art that we put in there. We've done Brew Bear as well. If you're going to have a coffee and Brew Bear, they've got a 3-meter wall art. So we're able to print these huge panels, and then we come and mount them and do them for you. Pop-up banners, a picture of the machine rolling. So in a nutshell, we kind of come from that little cartridge world franchise, one little room selling inks and cartridges. Circumstances have forced us to diversify, and through lots of hard work, help from the government, family, all chipping in, we've kind of got Zimprint now to where we can really service B2B. We've stayed small enough. Our lease was at the end, up in November, just gone, and we were getting ready to leave and go into a unit, and then it was no-brainer because the units were so much more expensive. We've decided to stick it out for another couple of years, and we have made arrangements for where we can do our vehicle graphics, because we don't have a unit at the back of the shop, but we do have a site that we can use to apply our vehicle graphics. That's the team. My daughter designs for us. There's Matt, there's me, there's my eldest son Jason, and then the little guy on the end is Nigel. He's been with me for 10 or 11 years. He's now 71, he's sharp as a tack, and he basically runs the front and orders all our items and things, and then looks after our long-standing sort of 15-year-old customers who come in for their little bits and pieces, and he runs the front of the shop. So, Tatenda Chaizo, that's Shona, which is the native language in Zimbabwe. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to tell you a little bit about Zimprint. And if we can help you with anything, please give me a shout. And if there's any questions, happy to try.
Anyone got any questions?